Hello, welcome to Sandy Ainley. I hope you're okay, so to speak. If not, please try to be, as a result of the fact that I have quite a nice little idea today for today's vlog. It's for me to read the introduction of the book Stop Thinking, Start Living by Richard Carlson, from the author of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Simple ways to let go of negativity and discover lifelong happiness. And I didn't know that it is my responsibility for me to be happy until about 4 or 5 years ago, when I came back from a therapy session and thought to myself, goodness me, today the therapist has taught me that I am responsible for my own happiness. And since then, I've wanted to learn more and more. And I hope that I can help you, if necessary, to think in this positive manner. What I'm going to do is take a start, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Introduction. I respectfully ask that you try to forget everything you have ever been told about unhappiness, pessimism, and depression. Where these feelings come from, how serious they are, and how difficult they are to overcome. Try to forget about all the attempts you've made that have failed, and all the approaches that promised results did not deliver. Even though I'm going to explain how you can begin to feel better today, I don't ask you to believe me with blind faith. Instead, I ask that you use your own common sense where evaluating what you are about to read. By the time you finish this book, if you read the whole book, I believe you will not only feel better, but also understand exactly why most approaches failed you before. That's a nice little introduction. It's very nice to even read. It just feels so relaxing for me. I'll continue. The way to get the most out of this book is to approach it with an open mind. See whether it makes sense to you, and if it sounds something that you already know intuitively. Some of what I propose will be quite different from what you have been exposed to before. Don't let this be an obstacle to getting the help you deserve. Keep it in mind that if you have already learned what the answer you were looking for, you wouldn't be reading this book today. You would be out enjoying your life. The information given here is different because it represents a new understanding in the field of mental health. It doesn't build on other approaches you may already be familiar with. If you can digest and take to heart the information in this book, you will feel better right away. There is very little effort involved. All you have to do is understand what you read on an intuitive level and make a gentle effort to put your understanding into practice. As you will see, I don't offer any fancy techniques or any sophisticated psychological theories to sift through. What I offer you is a simple yet profound, common sense based understanding of mental health and happiness that really works and that can be implemented immediately. I have seen people who have been unhappy or depressed for as many as 30 years walk away from my office feeling better than they can ever remember. And what's more, the good feeling you will learn to tap into sticks with you. I'm a stress management consultant who teaches people some very simple facts about their own internal functioning. What makes them tick and what makes them fall apart. The principles that I teach are generic, meaning they apply to everyone. I receive referrals from therapists around the country who have seen their clients rid themselves of depression as a result of what I teach. As people learn about the habitual processes that contribute to their own misery and the ways that they use their own minds to sabotage their lives, they quickly discover a natural and relatively effortless way to escape the grips of unhappiness and lifelong pessimism. My approach is based on a set of principles known as the psychology of mind. The psychology of mind was founded by Mr. Sid Banks, Dr. Roger Mills, and Dr. George Pransky. The principles in this book are extrapolated from 3 principles of the psychology of mind, but are not actual principles. Readers can learn more about psychology of mind by sending a stamped addressed envelope to Happiness Training, P.O. Box 1196, Orinda, CA 94563, USA. It is being used by grown numbers of therapists, consultants and educators with spectacular results. The methods you will learn have been extrapolated from these principles in a way that is geared towards freeing you from unhappiness. Many professionals now teaching this approach have come to believe that a majority of the more conventional therapeutic approaches available today to treat unhappiness can actually make matters worse instead of better. This is not to say that there aren't excellent, well-qualified therapists practicing traditional therapy. There most certainly are. What you may discover, however, is that many of the approaches and practices that therapists currently use tend to fuel an already depressed state. Clients are directed to get in touch with their most negative feelings and analyze their pasts in order to transcend their present situations. They are asked to study, if not relive, their childhood as well as their more recent past so that they can feel better, understand the psychological damage that was inflicted on them. One of the consistent problems I have seen in working with clients who have given up on traditional therapy is that each time a new trauma is uncovered, the client is in effect starting over again. There are always new sessions designed to get to the bottom of each additional issue and to explore the negative feelings that go along with recounting them. Each specific issue entails more negative feelings to explore. Many therapists insist that unless people deal head-on with their negative experiences and unconscious drives, they will be miserable forever. You must keep in mind, when deciding whether traditional therapy makes sense to you, that the therapists who tell you this are almost always paid by the hour. In defense of therapists, I don't think I've even met one who would intentionally keep a client longer than they felt was absolutely necessary. Nevertheless, there is a certain conflict of interest to be very cautious of. If you get better, the therapist loses you as a client. If you have been in therapy for an extended period of time and are still unhappy, you may want to reconsider your treatment. Is more of the same really going to help? Is going deeper into your pain and suffering really going to help you experience joy? Is getting in touch with more relatively negatively really going to make you feel less negative? I doubt it. History shows us that this route often doesn't work. Does this mean that therapy is useless? No, I would say no. However, that success in therapy depends far more on the mental health and happiness of the therapist than it does on reliving past traumas and pain. A skilled therapist who is also a happy, vibrant person would most certainly be able to pass along at least some of her happiness, almost regardless of the specific approach she uses. One of the most striking observations that people make when attending a psychology of mind seminar or when they have a private session with a consultant is that people who teach psychology of mind are very happy people themselves. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to teach someone else to be happy. How can an unhappy person who is caught up in personal problems teach an already unhappy person to feel joy? I feel grateful to be able to say that I am indeed a happy person, and I hope that feeling I bring to life will touch you as you read this book. Who is this book for? Carl Jung once said, "The greatest affliction affecting mankind isn't serious mental illness, but the general uneasiness and unhappiness that is so prevalent in our society." Jung believed, as I do, pronounced Jung, that many people experience life in a lifeless manner. Many, if not most people, have lost touch with the mystery and magic that surrounds us. The first step towards living fully is simply feeling better. This book was written for anyone who would like to feel better than they presently do. Anyone who frequently experiences the blues, ongoing sadness, a pessimistic outlook, frequent unhappiness, internal misery, a lack of gratitude about the gift of life, or someone who simply wishes to feel better. It is an outgrowth of an earlier book, You Can Be Happy No Matter What, New World Library, 1992. I received hundreds of letters and phone calls from readers who appreciated the principles of happiness that I spoke about, yet wanted to hear more specifically about how to get themselves out of the lower states of mind that pessimistic people find themselves in. Excuse me, please. Thank you. The approach to happiness outlined in this book can help virtually anyone improve their mental outlook and the quality of their life. It should not, however, be used in lieu, whatever pronunciation that is. That's L-I-E-U, in lieu of professional treatment. Please comment and give me the correct pronunciation for that word, please. Thank you. Of professional treatment if you suffer from serious depression, suicidal urges, or other serious mental illness. Please excuse my having been so ignorant, but I'd love to learn. If you experience serious depression, please seek professional guidance before reading this book and attempting to implement the philosophy. Your doctor or counsellor may want you to use the ideas presented here in conjunction with your therapy. I certainly hope so, but please check first. This book was written to address Jung's assessment of the state of humankind, the general level of unhappiness that surrounds us. I will show you how to rid yourself of the negative feelings that can take over your life and replace them with the feelings of gratitude, happiness, and love. I will also show you how to access a place within yourself where feeling good already exists, as well as how to detect those mental processes that take you away from this place. I have never met a person who didn't feel better after learning this simple approach. Once you learn how you create unhappiness in your life with your own thinking, and once you learn how to stop this pattern, you will certainly be far more hesitant to continue or return to any destructive psychological tendencies you may have. Approach the ideas here with an open mind and a curious heart. Don't discount anything as being too simplistic until you have had an honest chance to practice what you learn and assess how you feel. If you read with your own common sense as your guide, remembering that your goal is to be happier, I believe you will be pleasantly surprised as how good you can feel. It really is true. You can feel good again. I hope you enjoyed that, because I did. And I noticed whilst I was reading to you that I was nervous at the beginning. And as the book continued and my readings continued, I started to feel better each moment that passed by, as in a little better each moment. And I'm so pleased that I shared part of this book with yourselves. And if you so wish to buy it, I bought it online. I don't recall where I bought it from. However, I'll repeat the title, Stop Thinking, Start Living, by Richard Carlson. Richard, and Carlson is spelled C-A-R-L-S-O-N. And I've not read the book yet, not the whole book. However, I'm jolly well looking forward to continuing to read this book. And I may read more to you in the future from this book. I hope you are enjoying this vlog, and please take care of yourself and take care of one another, please. And please stop thinking and start living. Lots of love. Shalom, which means hello, goodbye and peace in Hebrew. Goodbye.